Here's another one. This kept coming up at the Talent Connect. Great talent is not attracted to mediocre recruiters. Okay? What does that mean, really? Isn't it the job and the company that's going to make all the difference, not the quality of the recruiter? So what does that mean, they're underwhelming? What does it mean they're mediocre? Does it mean something to you? I don't know what it means.
It means that they learned how to do a search in whatever paid tool their company bought them, and then they send a message, and if you reply, then they'll call you and ask you about the job and tell you about the job and ask you about your background. They're not like calling and doing everything Lou Adler has been teaching since the 80s, right? They're not motivating and inspiring and getting you excited about a job. They're seeing if you're a fit and then moving on to the next candidate.
Uh-huh. How do you get people motivated and excited about a job?
Well, you got to make sure you know what's in it for them.
Who is it? David
Perry in Ottawa.
What's the difference, David Perry? What's the difference between a mediocre recruiter and a good recruiter?
Well, that's an easy answer. The good recruiter understands what's in it for the person he's talking to before he ever picks up the phone and makes a call.
How does he know
what's
that?
in it for me? With him. What's that? How do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that before you make a call?
The other person.
Yeah, that's kind of an assumption
this
there.
This guy has written I don't know how many books about recruiting.
No, that's not an assumption. That's really good. That's really good research. If you go on someone's LinkedIn profile, if you read some of their Twitter comments, if you go on their Facebook profile, if you do a little bit of stalking, there I used the bad word, you do a little bit of stalking, you can start to understand what's important to this individual. So you can have a conversation that you could open up. A conversation doesn't have to be about the job, but it can be more than, hey, my name is, and I got this job, and you want to take a look at it, which is what the vast majority of recruiters have been doing for the past. Since I got in, this dinosaur roll over.
Dave.
Yep.
Dave. You said a good recruiter doesn't talk about the job. That's what it's all about. And the mediocre recruiter talks about the job.
It's not about. No, you're baiting me now. No.
I'm not.
It's not about the job. It's not about the job. It's about the person that you called first, and then it's about the job.
Well, I don't get
like
it.
Going
what do
out
you mean if you're not
that's
talking
like going
about...
out on a date and saying, lie down, I think I love you. No. Okay? We're not talking about the quick and dirty. Like it or not, candidates have become fairly sophisticated the last, let's call it 10 years. And most of them have at least an understanding of what they want out of life. And most recruiters have no intention of understanding, what the candidate is about and asking them questions before they pitch. And that's why
I'm sorry, I got to jump in here.
Most recruiters
Dave, you'll never make it in this business.
Resource amateurs.
You'll never make it in this business, David. I'm sorry.
You've got to get their interest. And then I agree with you. You've got to get their interest to stay on the phone, but then you got to know what would motivate you to consider a change. And you've got to get to the bottom of that.
And I don't think you can find that out by their last several Facebook arguments about Trump or Clinton.
No, you can't. You can't. But you have to understand the person before you understand the professional. People are more than your job
example of what you're talking about. You said look at their LinkedIn profile and talk to them about anything. It doesn't have to be the job. Give me an example.
I am recruiting the chief public relations officer now for a company in New York City. And I am looking at profiles now, both on LinkedIn and in a couple of other directories, and I'm looking for someone who has had experience outside work in promoting causes, any cause. I don't care what the cause is, any cause. So when I call them up, I'm going to say, hey, listen, I was on your LinkedIn profile, or I understand that you're heavily involved in Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Before I tell you why I'm calling, let me tell you who I am. Give you my phone number, answer any of your questions, and then maybe we can have a conversation. Now, do I do this at every level? Yeah. Does it work at the executive level? Yeah. Does it work at the non-executive level? I don't know, but I would think so. Because on the phone, until we introduce ourselves, we're all just strangers. And, the thing going through your mind is, who the hell are you? Why should I answer your calls? And you don't know me. And they're right, by all accounts. So how do you go from, dead last don't exist to having a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. You know
I
what?
can't
It
believe
just sounded
animals
to me
found
like
on
you
this.
looked at the guy's profile, you took out the basic thing that you're looking for, and say, "I see you have this. I want to talk to you about a job."
Funny
That's what
thing,
it
kind of a
sounded
side
like to
note
me.
on that.
Sorry.
The other day I was kind of sprucing up my LinkedIn profile. So under where it suggests, hey, why don't you tell people what causes you care about and what you do, I checked them all. Animal welfare, arts and culture, children, civil rights, economic empowerment, education, environment, health, human rights, disaster and humanitarian relief, politics, poverty alleviation, science and technology, and social services. So
have you actually?
Who did
So actually,
those?
so have you actually been to any?
no.
Have you actually? That's just it, right? So you're not really part of any of it. So
No.
that wouldn't fool a good recruiter like Jerry, for example. He'd go, you're all about it. You're an inch deep and a mile wide. However, if you've done a white paper, if you've been in a press release, you've gone to a gala, if you've organized something, that's different.
Yeah,
And that's
I
what
agree.
you're looking for. That's not that hard to figure out.